cummerbund.
I'm a man cheater. He's a man cheater.
He seemed impressed by the way you came in. Tell us a story. I know you're not boring. I was afraid that you would not insist. You sound so sleepy. Just take this, now leave me. I said, please don't slow me down if I'm going too fast. You're in a strange part of our town.
Work it.
Cause I get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 lightning bugs as they try to teach me how to dance. A foxtrot above my head, a sock hop beneath my bed, a disco ball is just hanging by a thread. I'd like to make myself believe the planet Earth turns slowly. It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems. 'Cause everything is never as it seems. Stay awake when I'm asleep, 'cause everything is never as it seems.
All right, hello. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know why the Twitch stream just imploded. Yeah, it is a whole thing. I also have to verify my identity to make AdSense on YouTube. This fucking sucks. I didn't want to do that today. This threw off my groove. So Ben Sass, yeah, Ben Sass gonna resign, gonna go work as president of a Florida university. No one knows exactly why he's doing that. He was expected to win his re-election, so usually that would indicate that there's something coming down the pipeline that's gonna like fucking wreck his ass. Guess he had enough of the GOP. Well, the people on the board of directors that decide who to hire as president of that university include Ron DeSantis. So I don't think it's that he is done with Republicans. I think that it is that he does not want to be a senator for some reason. It's fine, Publico. I don't make money off of ads on YouTube anyway. I don't have a large enough subscriber base here yet, so it's not like I'm missing out on money. It's mostly that I don't have the monetization options here that I have on Twitch. Like, you guys can't like gift subs and stuff. Wait, what's going on in live chat? I know you only need 1K subs and 4K hours of watch time. I've turned on AdSense. But the issue is like I make like $3 a month off of how big my audience is now. Like, YouTube is like $3 a month, if that, okay? Like, if I had like 10 times the size of my current audience, it would still just be $30. Also, Public Loser, thank you very much for becoming a new patron on Patreon. But you can super chat? Yo, I did not know that I could super chat, actually. Paladin Lost, thank you for the $20 super chat. That's fucking great. Thank you so much. Sorry.
It seems that the demons have
I
summoned
am
you
going
once
to
more
do something real quick.
to
I'll be right back.
rise from the darkness.
Yeah,
Not
I
for
know,
magic,
Mint.
but
I've
for
just been
war.
fucking super busy.
Damn! The chills right there. DJ Humberbun.
Look out! Listen to me. Oh, I despise costing me destruction of innocent lives. War means tears that thousands of mothers' eyes when their sons go out to fight and lose their lives. War is an enemy to all mankind.
have one mission, and that is to annihilate Nassau Coliseum.
Good God, y'all!
Or should it be?
Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
Oh, Lord!
DJ Cumberbund.
Yes.
American dream is dead.
For the Donald Trump is the man. Let's put our nation into his hands. Mike Pence and Donald make a great team. They'll make our nation the greatest it's been. They've got the wisdom, courage, and pride. Criminal Clinton ought to go hide. Trump knows the way. Trump knows the way. Terrorist bombings still are a threat. Trump's the solution, you wanna bet. Second Amendment guarantees peace. Firearms protect us, even the weak. Criminals love those weapon-free zones. When guns are banned, then how the hell do we fight with iPhones? Trump knows the way. Trump knows the way.
Sometimes the little things start closing in on me.
Now we've a choice, that choice is sweet. Vote for my man, the Donald Trump for Commander-in-Chief.
Those clouds don't scare me, they can't disguise.
Allah is the one who loves them rising.
Mike Pence and Donald, shooting like stars.
And he is the one who has power over all.
All those jihadis keep their swords honed. Trump's got the answer to that problem, to send them back home.
I am officially running
Yeah, the best day ever's
for
gonna last
President
all
of the
night
United States.
now.
Trump knows the
Allah
way.
is Rahim. Allah is the one who loves them
Trump
rising.
knows the way.
He is a sustainer, and he is the one who has power
Trump
over
knows the
Allah
way.
is Rahim. Allah is the one who loves them
Trump
rising.
knows the way. Trump knows the
I
way.
just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China.
Ask Allah to forgive you.
DJ Cumberbund.
Oh yeah. I'm driving black on black. Just got my license back. I've got this feeling in my face. This train is coming off the track. I'll ask polite if the devil needs a ride, because the angel on my right ain't hanging out with me tonight. I'm driving past your house while you was thinking out. I got the car to
to the center and let a real nigga take you home. I can make this show stop soon as you hear this phone from ATLANTAN all the way down to yo. Put the needle on the record and I'll make her get lower than a Lamborghini. And if she really getting low, then I'ma shoot a video and put it all on TV. Cause I like that French vanilla and the caramel. But when it comes to chocolate, I know that very well. Ain't them persuasion, no discrimination. I love how they seem to please us. I wanna taste them buttery and pecan peanut butter cups like Reese's Pieces. Cause I think you a superstar with an ass like that. You gotta blue. Before you make it big, well, there's just one thing that I gotta know.
We're parked out by the tracks. We're sitting in the back and we just started getting busy when she whispered, "What was that?" The wind, I think, 'cause no one else knows where we are. And that was when she started screaming, "That's my dad outside the car." Oh please, the keys, they're not in the ignition. Must have wound up on the floor while we were switching up positions. I guess they knew that she was missing. As I tried to tell her that it was a mouth that I was kissing, screaming, "No, we're never gonna quit. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just acting like we're animals. No matter where we go, 'cause everybody knows we're just a couple animals." So come on, baby, get in. We're just a couple animals. Get in. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Check out the trouble we're in. We're just a couple animals. Get in.
Give it to me, baby. The Space Jam.
Hey, folks. Um, sorry, just having to set up entirely new stuff on YouTube sucks. Thank you very much for the $20 super chats. I believe that was from, and for the $5 super chats as well. I'm trying to figure out part of part of what's god damn it. Okay, there we go. Part of what's irritating is that the interface for YouTube chat and YouTube backend is terrible. And I am just trying to figure out where everything is. You need to be paid. Yeah, FBI might charge Hunter Biden with like some, I don't know, the cool crimes, I guess. Jesus, I've been thrown off my entire groove. My groove is gone. Yeah, tax and gun crimes, the coolest crimes. Okay. God, my entire groove is gone, and there's 1/5 of you here. Okay, excellent. That's how I prefer it. Everything's going according to plan. Okay. So we about to see how Jack got her groove back? I don't know. You might be about to see how Jack got irritated as shit. I don't know. It's not a very fun movie. How Jack verified her AdSense account for $1.13. Goddamn. All right. Oh. Making content online is hard, especially when your streaming software fails halfway through making content. It's true. The FBI declined to prosecute on the big dick crimes of Hunter Biden. It's true. It's true. They looked at his dick and they just said it's too big. It's too big to prosecute. Ken Shaw, yes, actually. So, probably not going to make money for a couple months yet on YouTube. That thumb fan art is so cute. Thank you, Dog Ear Flopper. I forgot who drew it. It was drawn like years ago. A lot of apples. Thank you for the $10 super chat. I very much appreciate it. I don't know how the super chats actually get paid to me. So I don't know. It's a whole lot of fun being here on youtube.com, where I don't know how it works and can't tell you how it gets to me, and I just hope it does. Let's see. Okay. We are struggling. It's gonna be a struggle fest day. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I think you get 70-30. I don't fucking know. If I get 70-30, you guys should just donate through Streamlabs, because I get like 99% of that. Okay, we're gonna try and do some content, and maybe that will make me feel better. Alright. Okay, Ben Sass did that, been there, done it. Yes. Okay, next story. Folks, it's time for the rise, not of Dark Brandon, but of Dank Brandon, okay? It's Dank Brandon o'clock, everyone. 420 has arrived. Look at that. Look at that. Oh god, I even destroyed, like, it was so wonderful, it even destroyed YouTube chat. There we go. You're back. I've returned you, like Jesus. Okay. So you have Joe Dank Biden. That's his new nickname. Middle name, Dank. As I've said before, no one should be in jail just for possessing or using marijuana. Today, I'm taking steps to end our failed approach. Allow me to lay them out. So, let's go. First, I'm pardoning all prior federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. There are thousands of people who were previously convicted of simple possession who may be denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities as a result. My pardon will remove this burden. Second, I'm calling on governors to pardon simple state marijuana possession offenses. Just as no one should be in federal prison solely for possessing marijuana, no one should be in local jail or state prison for that reason either. Third, we classify marijuana at the same level as heroin and more serious than fentanyl. Makes no sense. I'm asking Secretary Becerra, and the Attorney General to initiate the process of reviewing how marijuana is scheduled under federal law. I'd also like to note that as federal and state regulations change, we still need important limitations on trafficking, marketing, and underage sales of marijuana. Sending people to jail for possessing marijuana has upended too many lives for conduct that is legal in many states. That's before you address the clear racial disparities around prosecution and conviction. Today, we begin to right these wrongs. That last tweet, that was for Kamala, okay? That was taking Kamala Harris and throwing her under that bus. It's revenge for her busing comments against Joe Biden. Joe Dank Biden. Okay? So, part of this is really, really good, right? Really great. Kamala got bussied. It's true. Now, yeah, but my prison... Mint Kuro, thank you very much for the $5 dono. Is this how I super chat? It is how I'd currently prefer you to super chat. Mostly because I know how that gets to me. I'm not sure yet how super chats in YouTube get to me. Thank you very much. Also, Mint, could you copy and paste the link into chat for that? For the tips page? I don't know, I've heard that touching one seed can put you into cardiac arrest. So, yeah, Joe Biden pardoning this is great. I want to know whether or not this pardon applies to people who have served their time, which is still good, but I want to know... Oh, Mint, I was asking if you could link the Streamlabs tip page. I know who you are, Salmon Moose. Don't you worry. So it does apply to people who are... Well, but does it apply to people who are currently in prison? Like, do people currently in prison get to leave? You know? If they've only been convicted of using and possessing marijuana, do they get to leave? That's my question. And you know what? Take a look at look at what some normies have to say about it, huh?
Surprises. One of them coming just this afternoon from the Biden administration, which has announced that the president is pardoning thousands of Americans who were convicted of possession of marijuana. And the White House is asking governors to do the same. This comes at a time when Democrats are eager to energize young voters just over 30 days before midterm election day. The other surprise, a decision by the group of oil-producing countries known as OPEC Plus that could end up hiking prices at the pump here at home. We're going to get to that in a moment. But first, to discuss both of these things, I want to bring in a couple of my CBS News colleagues, Stephen Portnoy and Caitlin Huey-Burns. Stephen is CBS News' radio White House correspondent, and Kate...
By the way, the United States produces so much oil, the fact that, like, foreign nations are able to jack up our gasoline prices is kind of insane.
Caitlin is a CBS News political...
Oh, I get 70-30 on Super Chats. I mean, that's great. But also, you could just tip me directly on Streamlabs to get me 29% more money.
Correspondent. Welcome so much to you both. Caitlin, I'll start with you. Lay out for us what exactly it is that the president announced today when it comes to marijuana and who it's going to affect.
Yeah, Nancy, well, this is a pretty big decision coming from the White House today. And
man, pretty interesting chyron here. When Joe Biden is basically announcing the end of the drug war on marijuana. Instead, it's like, well, the OPEC Plus production cut. I mean, sure, that's a big deal, but, like, he just announced something that fundamentally alters a long-standing policy that has fucked up the last, like, 50 years of our country.
Basically does three things. First, the main component is that it pardons federal offenses of simple marijuana possession. It also urges governors to do the same, and that's significant because the White House says that the majority of marijuana offenses are at the state level. So you're seeing that urging there, and there are a handful of states where marijuana is not only illegal, but it's also criminalized, and it hasn't been decriminalized yet. And it is also ordering the Health and Human Services Department to essentially review the way that marijuana is classified. The Biden administration argued that it's essentially classified on the same level as heroin and less and stronger than fentanyl, which of course is a huge issue. So this kind of taken together, the timing is really interesting here, which we'll talk about in a moment. But who it stands to benefit, they say about 6,500 people will benefit from this. But it's important to note that no one is currently serving federal prison time for a simple marijuana sentence. So it's not going to all of a sudden release lots of people from jail. The main point of it, as you heard from Biden, was that it kind of removes these barriers for people when they're applying for jobs, trying to get housing, and other types of barriers.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. Old fact, thank you for the $20 dono. Holy moly. Thank you for your generosity. I very much appreciate it. But on top of that, guys, like, what's interesting about this is the kind of flaccid plea to state governors to follow in his footsteps and decriminalize and pardon prisoners who have these convictions, right? Like, we haven't seen, well, we're really not going to see Republicans coming around on this, okay? Not by choice, anyway. And like, the other part of this is, and what bothers me is, while it is good, as you heard, it doesn't affect that many people. Like 6,500, it's, you know, in a nation of 300 million, right? Amelia, thank you very much for the $20 dues. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So the other issue is that he's not moving it from its current scheduled status. He's asking other people to look into whether to move it from its scheduled status. So a lot of this is a move that is designed to look good without actually accomplishing that much. That being said, this could signal a way that the current administration is hoping to move things slowly towards the future. We will see a lot more decriminalization if it's done on the federal level, though. A lot of states keep it on the books because removing it would still have to be illegal anyway, so it would help. Exactly. Like, I'm not turning my nose up on this. It's mostly just this is kind of like a signaling to other members of the Democratic Party that this is where things are headed. So it could be in the very near future we see like a mass decriminalization of marijuana offenses. And that is frankly like going to be an amazing, amazing day. So we're not quite there yet. It's not quite time to toot the horn and 420 all over, but yeah, exactly. This is the most bureaucratic way to do a good thing. Yeah. It is how our government currently operates. It is a kind of screeching to a halt and then slowly moving at like 1 mile per hour in a positive direction. So we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic.
In place, but the administration hailing this as a big deal.
Stephen, I think it's such an important point that Caitlin makes, which is that nobody is currently serving time in federal prison solely for federal marijuana possession. So it's not as if these pardons open the floodgates for people to be let out of prison. Nobody's going to get let out of prison at this moment because of this executive order. Yet it.
Yeah, like, again, really hammering home. Yeah, no one's going to get let out of prison, so, you know, the pardoning is mostly like expunging a lot of records for people who served their time.
Shift for this president.
It's a significant one, and I think the last point that Caitlin made in terms of what the president's going to be doing today is important. He's starting a conversation within the federal government of reclassifying marijuana. For
yeah,
decades,
that's the biggest
contravention of public opinion in this country.
Reclassification is the biggest thing that he announced today, and it's going to be the thing that doesn't catch as many headlines because it's not going to like scare conservatives into thinking like, oh my god, thousands upon thousands, a flood of evildoers on our streets. You know, it's not scary like that. You know, moving the bureaucratic levers to make something less illegal is not something that's going to like freak them out or catch their attention.
The decisions of several states. Marijuana has been classified as a Schedule I drug, which essentially says that there's no useful medical purpose. And we know so many states say that there is a medical use for marijuana. So the conversation is going to begin for the first time in decades. Advocates say it's long overdue. Most Americans would say it's long overdue. But importantly, politically, this is something now less than 5 weeks to go before the midterm elections. The president is going to be able to turn to young people in particular and say, this is something that I'm doing.
How are pardons not freeing people? Well, because there are currently no federal prisoners in jail solely for possessing marijuana. So the pardon is mostly like for people who've already served their time, or, you know, lowering the number of charges people have, you know?
You're concerned about, despite the fact that for years, Joe Biden, as a senator and even as a candidate, was a bit reluctant to say that there should be a decriminalization. He most recently said in a campaign that he does not believe that people should go to prison for marijuana use, but
that's true, man. It'd be great to decriminalize all drugs so that we can research whether or not they actually have medical effects or some useful thing we could tap into, you know?
Also believed that there should be some scientific conversation here about the impact of marijuana, and that's part of the review that HHS and the Department of Justice are going to be undertaking now.
Oh, also, Ashley, thank you for the 20 gifted subs on Twitch. I very, very much appreciate it, especially given that Twitch has gone down and kind of hosed me for tonight. So thank you very much. Like, that's incredibly generous of you. Thank you so much.
Caitlin, Stephen brought up young voters, and that is such a good point because recent polls have showed us that young voters are not necessarily all that fired up to vote in this midterm election. It's a big problem for Democrats. Is that what's behind the president's decision to announce this now?
Well, you can't help but look at the timeline of this. We're a month away from the midterm elections, where you note that there is a depressed base kind of across the board, and the White House has been looking for ways to tout accomplishments to appeal to that base. And a big target has been young voters who typically don't turn out in midterm election years the way that they would in general election years. And even in general election years, that number is quite low. And so this could be a way to help to rile them up, especially as we see kind of the way in which the student loan proposal has really hit a bunch of snags. The other important thing is look at how some of the Democratic candidates running this cycle are responding. And I'm thinking of John Fetterman, who, of course, is running for Senate in Pennsylvania. Remember last month when President Biden went to Pennsylvania, Fetterman was asked if he would campaign with him, and he said, yeah, I want to appear with the president because I want to talk to him about marijuana policy. That was a very specific ask. And this afternoon, after this was announced, Fetterman released a statement calling it a, quote, BFD, which we all know what that means.
Big
it's not
fucking
really
deal.
quite something I can say on air, but essentially saying this is a very big deal, and this was something that I asked the president to consider. So he's trying to really capitalize on that in a very close race in Pennsylvania. It gives you a sense of kind of how some people are going to try to play this. It also could open the floodgates, of course, to Republican criticism, and that's why it's important to note nobody's getting out of jail for this, but you might have some Republicans or those on the right critical of this, as crime, of course, is a huge issue in this campaign.
Right, and polls showing that race is tightening in these final weeks. I want to switch gears and talk about the other big story of the day, and that...
I don't care about the OPEC decision. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. Okay. Howdy, folks. Yeah. Descheduling marijuana would be a fucking humongous deal, okay? On top of that, pardoning folks is great. I'd love to see the numbers on how many people are affected when it comes to stuff like employment. When it comes to this pardon, I haven't seen those numbers yet. I know that it is possibly affecting like 6,500 people, but that number seems extremely low. Though it could be that most marijuana offenses are on the state level. Yeah. Oh, of course Tom Cotton is saying that. But also, literally no one is getting out of prison, so that's just a fucking lie. Now, folks, we have an update on the Brett Favre situation. So some of you might recall that a little while ago, I did a story about how Brett Favre collaborated with members of Mississippi's state government to essentially funnel money into a volleyball stadium for his daughter to play in. She's on a university team. Well, that wasn't the only thing he funneled money into, exactly. Oh, and the money that he got from the Mississippi state government was specifically for providing, like, housing for children and, like, low-income families. So, literally, Sheriff of Nottingham type shit. Well, we got another update from that odyssey. And it gets worse. It just gets worse. And wouldn't you know, folks, Brett Favre actually built more than one, or tried to build more than one volleyball related facility. He also attempted to funnel, again, money intended for low-income families and poor children into a volleyball gym. Yeah, you heard that right. A gym specifically for volleyball players. Chris Hayes has more.
And I screamed, I said, I don't want to hear any other effing words coming out of your mouth, no matter what, other than orderly transition. Repeat those words to me. And I screamed that. Eventually he said, orderly transition. I said, good, John. Now I'm going to give you the best free legal advice you're ever getting.
Oh, yeah, by the way, this is the guy, I believe, who broke the Brett Favre story. Yeah, Panda Guy. Panda Guy did it.
In your life. Get a great effing criminal defense lawyer. You're going to need it. And then I hung up on him.
It's one of the more memorable moments, the January 6 hearings, when Trump White House lawyer Eric Hirschman shared his first-hand account of the coup plotting he witnessed in the days before the insurrection, and that the day afterwards. His deposition was made even more memorable for the baseball bat hanging on his wall, emblazoned with the word justice.
Okay, well, it's not just the Justice baseball bat, it's the fucking wall-sized picture of a panda looming up out of, like, what appears to be a shimmering moonlit lake, like a fucking predator.
Staunch Trump defender representing the president in his first impeachment trial in the well of the Senate. Well, now Hirschman has a new client, according to Axios. Eric Hirschman will be the new attorney for former NFL star Brett Favre in the Mississippi.
Oh yeah, sorry, he didn't break the story. My bad. He's an evil lawyer. God, so silly.
Welfare fraud case he is embroiled in. And Favre certainly seems to be in need of a good lawyer, as more and more revelations come out about his involvement in an successful effort, to use Mississippi state welfare funds to build a volleyball center at his alma mater, Southern Miss, where his daughter also attended and played volleyball. Favre and his new lawyer say he did not know welfare dollars would be used in the project, though there are a handful of text messages from him that seem to suggest otherwise. Favre has said he believes he did nothing wrong. The Mississippi...
I believe I did nothing wrong outside of stealing money intended for poor children. But I did it on accident, so that makes it okay.
Free Press put together this extensive timeline of efforts by Favre to help build not one but two volleyball facilities at schools his daughter attended, and how he went to shocking lengths to divert money, again, meant for the poor and sick, to fund those projects. Ashton Pittman is one of the reporters who put that timeline together, as well as authoring a piece detailing what reporting and court filings revealed about Favre's involvement, and he joins me now. Ashton, I got to say, again, Favre's not facing any criminal charges, though other people involved in this fraud case have already pleaded guilty. But every new detail just seems to show a level of involvement and determination by Favre to get this money that is not like a casual undertaking.
Also, it's not like he was like, yes, we will steal money from a big budget state. Not literally, let's steal money from the poorest state in the United States, and we will steal money not from any program in that poor state. We will steal money in that poor state that is supposed to be going to poor people in that state. Like, just an absolute kick in the balls.
Right. We see, through the texts that have come out, we can see that Brett Favre was looking for a lot of ways to pay for this. And we know that starting in, 2017, which was the year that his daughter was going to graduate high school and start at the University of Southern Mississippi, which is his alma mater, that's when he started really pushing for help funding this volleyball stadium at Southern Miss. And from everything we've seen, he had actually pledged to give the money to fund this stadium himself.
Oh, damn. Then you should have done it, Brett. Instead of stealing money from literal orphans and, widows, my dude.
So then we suddenly, though, see in these texts to Governor Phil Bryant going back to April 2017, Brett Favre is talking about, getting help with fundraising and sponsorships. He's talking about all sorts of ways to pay for it. And at one point, he even mentions the possibility of prison industry labor.
Jesus, Brett. Yes. You see, we will simply use the slave labor at our disposal in Mississippi. Holy shit. Again, guys, I know that prison labor is the euphemism we use these days, but the reason prisoners are able to, be worked for, 50 cents per day is because we left a loophole to enslave prisoners in our country's legal fabric, all right? Make no mistake, it's slave labor.
So we're looking at this, and it doesn't start out with, Brett Favre doesn't come into this saying, I want some welfare money to build a volleyball stadium. He's kind of just from what we see in these texts, he's looking for any kind of help he can get in any way it can come to pay for this stadium that he had apparently pledged to pay to build himself.
Yeah, it's that sequence of facts is important because the last time we did that story, I don't think that was yet so clear, and it was so strange, right? He's a very wealthy man. He could write a check. I mean, this is the kind of thing that very wealthy people do. It's well, my kid is going to a school. I'm going to give you a big check for it. What becomes clear is that basically that's the agreement he'd struck, and we learn that from these texts. This is the president of his alma mater, USM, University of Southern Mississippi, says, and he's texting with the governor, right? And he says,
yeah, by the way, that Brett Favre is worth over $100,000. Okay? Or 100,000. 100 million. I'm sorry. Off by quite a bit.
The bottom line is he personally guaranteed the project, and on his word and handshake, we proceeded. It's time for him to pay up. It really is just that simple. And then later on, Rodney Bennett, then president, says, that's my thoughts. Maybe he wants the state to pay off his promises. Like all of us, I like Brett. He is a legend, but he has to understand what a pledge means. I have tried many times to explain that to him. So it seems like he makes this pledge, he makes this promise, then he just doesn't want to pony up the money, and that sends him on this bizarre odyssey to find a way to pay for it. That's someone else's money.
Jesus.
Right. And you can see from the text that Governor Phil Bryant released in a recent court filing, from everything we've seen so far, we haven't seen an indication that Brett Favre definitely knew that the money was temporary assistance for needy families money, which, a family of three would have to make less than $600 and have children to get in Mississippi. We haven't seen a text that says he knew exactly what that money was, but we know he knew that it was at least coming from the Department of Human Services. Right. So we also, from these texts, we don't know for sure that, what Governor Phil Bryant knew and when he knew it. We do know we don't see Governor Phil Bryant.
Yeah, a lot of this, by the way, from Brett Favre feels a lot like this. OK, it feels a lot like this. All right.
Is everyone okay?
What happened? Did anyone see?
Someone drove a hot dog unshaped car through the window.
Driver's gone.
Somebody call the cops. We need to find that driver.
They could have killed someone.
Whose car is this?
Yeah, come on. Whoever did this, just confess. We promise we won't be mad.
A lot of it just feels like this, okay? Brett Favre gets caught. Yeah! Whoever did this, we won't be mad at you, okay? I can't play the whole thing because it's probably DMCA'd, but...
Apparently realizing that state funds are being used for this, at least in the text messages, until July 2019. By that point, he's already informed the auditor that the head of the Department of Human Services might be doing some, committing some illegal activity using state funds. So if you look at the timeline of events, it's just, there's still questions about who knew what when. But it's also clear that, Brett Favre didn't like the idea of people knowing that he was getting money, at least from a nonprofit, for this purpose.
Yeah, he asked whether it can come out. There's also clear indication that Phil Bryant, the governor, at one point says, we're going to get this done, Brett, but we got to do it legally. I'm too old for federal prison. Like, Phil Bryant is aware that there are some laws guiding whether you can take federal...
Wait, he fucking said he was too old for federal prison? Okay, my guy. Okay, you knew you all were in the deep shit at that point.
Welfare dollars for the poorest people in the poorest state in the union to go get your daughter a fancy new volleyball facility, and seems aware there's probably some compliance issues with that. The other thing that's wild here is this appears to be the second time that he used charity money, or money that you would think would go to other purposes, for a volleyball facility for his daughter. Reporting that the nonprofit tax records show that his foundation, Far for Hope, sent $60,000 to the Booster Club in suburban Oak Grove, which is the high school that his daughter was playing at before she went to USM, where they're...
Yeah, just casually using his own charity to fund his daughter's volleyball career. The money was intended for, kids who get cancer and shit, but fuck those kids. My daughter needs to play volleyball. For fuck's sake. By the way, this is a perfect representation of why whenever a conservative comes to you and talks about how the rich give so much money to charity, the wealthy contribute so much to society by giving to charity. They give so much away to charity. Look at Bill Gates. He's given so much to charity. Except that predominantly they're giving to their own charities. And predominantly their own charities don't spend money on, charitable causes. Instead, their charities funnel money into their own private ventures. Whether it is, your high school kids, suburban high school to play volleyball, or, funneling, child welfare to a volleyball stadium at a university. Or maybe, it could also be, for example, the building up of infrastructure, in Bill Gates's case, across Africa, to facilitate Bill Gates's company to come in and develop those regions further for profit. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has done a lot of good, but let's also not pretend that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation isn't also contributing to a lot of fucking problems. Right? Another really great example of this is when Bill Gates thought that he would be able to create better education because he was smarter than teachers. And to do that, he created grants that would go to schools that met his criteria and taught to his specifications, which then in turn led to schools fucking up their entire curriculums for 20 goddamn years to get those grants for no reason. And then he quietly phased out the program because it wasn't working, it wasn't doing shit, and wasn't actually useful. He basically tried to recreate how public education is done by dangling money in front of them as like charitable donations. And it didn't accomplish anything, and instead fucked up actual curriculum based on, you know, modern research.
They were playing volleyball. So you could sort of see where the idea might be planted in his head, like maybe we could tap some charity money.
Right, and you've got to also know about Oak Grove High School. Mississippi is a state where a lot of schools are in really bad shape. They don't get great funding. Oak Grove High School is one of the best funded schools in Mississippi. So it's really interesting, you know, seeing even if there was nothing wrong with the expenditure of that money for the Oak Grove Stadium, it's just you just see this pattern of, you know, Brett Favre's daughter goes to a school and it gets a volleyball facility. Well, she's at LSU now. She actually moved there, started there in August. So you know, maybe we should look at LSU and see if they're going to get a facility.
I think yeah, we should probably have some reporters looking at the volleyball facilities in Baton Rouge. Ashton Pittman, who's been doing good reporting on this. Thank you very much.
I mean, like, we can talk more about it if you want, but like literally Bill and Melinda Gates spent billions of dollars over the course of like 20 years to change public education in America, and they fucking failed and fucked it all up. I mean, like, for example, the Gates Foundation began its first big effort. This is from a Washington Post article from 2 years ago. In education reform 2 decades ago, when it said, with what it said was $650 million investment to break large, failing schools into small schools, on the theory that small schools worked better than large ones. Some do, and some don't. But Bill Gates declared in 2009 that it hadn't worked the way he had expected, and the project slowly shut down. The next project for the foundation was funding the development, implementation, and promotion of the Common Core state standards, which was supported by the Obama administration. It originally had bipartisan support, but Common Core became controversial in part because of the rush to get it into schools and because of what many states said was federal coercion to adopt it. Literally, the whole reason Common Core exists is because of Bill and Melinda Gates. Literally. Meanwhile, the Gates, while pushing the core, showered 3 public school systems and 4 charter management organizations with hundreds of millions of dollars to develop and implement teacher assessment systems that incorporated student standardized test scores. School systems and charter organizations that took the foundation's money were required to use public funds on the project too. By 2013, Bill Gates conceded the core initiative had not succeeded as he expected, and a 2018 report concluded that the teacher evaluation project had failed to achieve its goal of improving student achievement in any significant way. Yeah. So, you know, like, billionaires probably shouldn't have billions of dollars because they don't know how to fucking use it. And yeah, spending a lot of money to end malaria, great. That's fucking fantastic. You know who probably could have spent that money better? The fucking government. That could have used billions of dollars on far more worthwhile projects. spent several $billions to reform U.S. education. And instead of saying, fuck off, it's public education, bitch, the Obama administration said, yes, please, give us all your money. And we'll do anything we'll bend our entire administration to meet your needs, sir. YouTube has weird comment censoring or something. Well, sorry about that, Eustace Plimsoll. Missing the emotes, not gonna lie. Well, you know, I can only do what I can do, okay? I don't know. All I'm saying is that billionaires probably shouldn't exist to, like, shape public policy to their own whims and desires. All right. Finally. Oh, god damn it. Do we not have the full thing?
Well, good evening.
Okay, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. God damn it. No. Oh, here we go. Okay. Well, sure, Betsy DeVos is another one. Eric Prince is another one. I'm just saying, even the most benevolent billionaire is still going to have massive repercussions because of the accumulated power and wealth that they are able to project. You know, Bill Gates might be the best billionaire, but he's still fucking up entire countries that have, you know, significant percentages of the global population. You know, like 300 million people, not something to turn your nose up at. Fucking up the education system for an entire country over 2 decades is a lot. That's a lot of power to wield. And I'm sorry, he's done good things. I'm not disagreeing. But also, he should not exist. Individuals like Bill Gates should not exist. People able to subvert, like, democracy like that should not, like, be conscionable in a democratic system. But whatever. Here we go. Andrew Tate.
This is Talk TV.
Andrew Tate's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are your children will have. Videos of Tate have been viewed billions of times online. He's built an enormous following of mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world. Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking...
Holy shit, dude. I haven't actually listened to a ton of Andrew Tate, but holy shit. Imagine thinking about the women in your life like that. Yo, bro, I think my mom is like physically my father's property, bro. Like, yeah, like he's her property, bro. Or she's his property. He can do with her what he pleases, you know, bro? Like fuck it, like it's like owning a Garfield plushie, my dude. You can smack it around all you want, you know? You know what I'm saying? Smack it around, fuck it, who gives a shit? It's yours.
The aisle to marry the groom. The father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Tate's opinions on mental illness are equally controversial.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Well, this summer, every major social media platform banned Tate amid a global ban.
So, ghosts are real, and by believing in them, I give them more power. Interesting, Tate. I now believe in ghosts. If enough of us believe in a benevolent ghost, it becomes real.
Clash of concerns about his influence on the young people who watch him. But copies of his videos are still shared millions of times every day. This show is
Ghosts
called
are tulpas,
Uncensored.
yeah.
One of the challenges views directly, so he flew from Romania to sit here in this studio, and the full explosive interview airs later this week. Here's a bit of what's to come.
Oh, god damn it, it's not... I thought this was the full interview. God damn it.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question.
Yo, my dude, you were about to say, I think they're attractive women of all ages. My dude, my fucking dude.
Is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking it?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for
say.
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean.
Yo, Andrew Tate looks fucking scared as shit. Like, look at this. Dude looks like he does not know what to do.
No, that is misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
Well, what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive.
Oh, not when I'm fucking them, bro.
At a certain age and saying the age.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, than ageist, perhaps, but misogynistic, absolutely
Is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
If a 26-year-old woman is watching,
I feel like every time he gets upset, he slips into his like fucking weirdo accent.
And has heard those comments.
Yeah.
Would you just say to her, "Look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that."
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
So that's a
yo, just the eye movement here. The eye movement.
That, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about...
Like he maintains really intense eye contact. But watch what happens here when he gets challenged.
26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for a woman that you?
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
So you're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
this isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching...
Except he can't say it, because his entire brand is built off of being like an unapologetic dick.
I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content exists.
I have no idea why he agreed to go on this show. And I don't know why he agrees to go into these hot spaces where he knows people aren't going to be like sucking his dick the entire time. Imagine being destroyed by Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is not like it is not like an intellectual titan, guys. He's just asking questions and not taking shit.
Existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable...
Is that a truth, though?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm happy about.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father.
Terrible.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is the world we live in. The fact that something like that happened is almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've said before.
But I'd say them differently, perhaps.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's an acceptance, not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind by some of the things you've said. Would that be fair?
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with
80%
fame,
fair.
You have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can...
Yeah, like, women are your property. You know, it's a very nuanced point that might mislead some teenagers, yeah.
Be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
So, interesting early preview there of my interview with Andrew Tate. Like I say, very controversial.
Okay, we have a few more clips here, but, like, I thought that was going to be the full interview, and I'm a bit upset that it's not. So we're going to watch some preview content here.
Tate's the most famous man you've probably never heard of, but the chances are...
Wait, was this what he just clipped? God damn it. Alright.
Morgan Uncensored, Andrew Tate is banned from social media. His videos about... Welcome back to Piers, Morgan Uncensored. Andrew Tate is banned from social media. His videos about mainly women, but when exactly does free speech become hate speech, and who should get to decide that? Joining me now, our political journalist Ava Santino and Talk TV contributor Esther Krakow, author and podcaster and friend of Andrew Tate, Leah Haleburn, and Times columnist Hugo Rifkin. Hugo, let me start with you. Thank you for joining the show. I read your big Times interview with this guy, Andrew Tate. I found it very interesting because I knew I was going to interview him on television shortly afterwards. And what I was struck by was that although you were pretty outraged by some of the stuff he said and done and found it personally pretty offensive, you didn't really seem to be able to conclude that he'd really crossed a line that deserved the punishment he's received in terms of social media wipeout. Would that be a fair categorization?
Yes, I wasn't convinced because I'm not quite sure what debate we're having here. It seems a given to me that there would be no place for Andrew Tate on a normal, conventional media outlet. They're not going to give him your show. They're not going to give him my show on Times Radio. That wouldn't happen. But it raises the question of whether we think that these tech companies, Instagram, Facebook, companies like that, ought to be...
But these tech companies have terms of service. And obviously when someone gets big enough, like, obviously they're going to be always going to be small shows parroting similar points to Andrew Tate. But once they get really big, they're going to come under more scrutiny. And if they're continuing to break TOS, then they're going to get banned from those platforms. Yeah, that's how it works.
Being held to the same standards as traditional media. If we think they should be, then obviously he has no place in them. If we think they're actually more of a much more free arena where things that we might find in other places unacceptable are in fact acceptable there, then it becomes a whole different debate. And that's a debate we haven't quite settled, I think.
Right, because, I mean, to me, it's like when Trump got removed from Twitter and Facebook and so on.
Oh, yeah, plus the whole multi-level marketing thing. Companies do tend to look down on that, yeah.
If you're going to let the Ayatollah of Iran continue to have active accounts on these platforms, I don't see the consistency in banning a president of the United States or indeed someone like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I mean that's quite fair. You've also got to accept that look, huge numbers of people wanted to watch him. Huge numbers of people wanted to listen to him. He's very, very good at what he does. In an earlier age, there were people like Andrew Tate who put out cassettes and CDs, or were on various forms of pirate radio. They had huge audiences. The audiences are much, much huger now, and they are, and much less policed. They have much greater inroads. People like Tate into teenagers, for example. So it raises whole new questions, whole new issues. I'm not always convinced that just banning them is quite the right answer, but then I'm not sure I'd quite like to be making that call myself.
Right, I think that's a really good point. Leah Hailburn, you're in Miami. You know Andrew Tate. You've been to his home in Romania. You know his brother. What kind of guy is he? I mean, many people who don't know much about him will hear some of the stuff he's been saying, which I play to him and challenge him on in the interview, and they'll be horrified. But what do you think?
He's an incredibly intelligent man.
I'm sorry. Did you just say he's an intelligent man? You know, I know it's hard to tell right now, folks, but she actually has a concave skull. You know, it's hard to tell from this angle, but like right behind the crown of her head, like the entire back end of her head, just it like that's basically how it is, okay? Just like 90-degree angle. It looks like a normal head, but if she turned to the side, completely bashed in, okay? Completely, like the back half of her brain is just gone.
I think what he's doing is very important right now. There's a huge war on masculinity. Men don't really have any kind of role model that they can look up to. Andrew has been very kind and very generous.
Yes, men. Famous for having no role models in media. No role models at all in media. Absolutely none. No shining examples like Superman anymore. Or Batman. Or 98% of the Avengers. Or most cartoon protagonists. I don't know. Nothing's for the men anymore. It's all for the transes.
With me, like I said, I know him personally. I also know him from a business standpoint. I've spent time with him one-on-one. I've never felt uncomfortable. He's never been inappropriate with me.
Yeah, probably because you know him from a business standpoint, Ding Dong.
A lot of people accuse him of misogyny. He's never been misogynistic towards me. And I think what he's doing is incredibly important.
Well, if he's not doing it towards me, then that means it's okay, right?
Okay, Ava Santina, your view of this. I mean, just from the exchange we just put a preview of, where he says he prefers...
Oh, wait, guys, Marvel actually is making a movie about this. It's even might be a Disney Plus show. It's called Secret Wars. It's all about the secret war on masculinity that none of us have noticed or seen any evidence of. It's all secret.
Prefers 18, 19-year-old women to 25-year-olds. I think you're 25, aren't you? But you know, when he generalizes about 25-year-old women in the really, I thought pretty.
Oh shit, Entrama, you're right. She's probably one of his cage women. You know, she's sitting in like a cage. This is the only way she gets to be let out and like get food. It makes sense.
Repulsive manner that he did in public, I think that is misogyny, actually, because he's branding a whole category of women in a very offensive way.
I think it's close to misogyny. I think it's actually more looking at women as objective sexual objects, which inherently is misogynistic. But it's looking for purity in women. What he's essentially saying between those lines is that he wants some sort of virginal woman. Maybe that's why he takes this girl seriously. I don't know. But I mean, it kind of sounds a little bit like...
But he's, I mean, on the other side, he's allowed to. I mean, he can have these views. Does anything that he says, or the stuff that you've seen with him, does it cross a line where he deserves to be expunged from all social media, to be banished from the internet?
You've got to look at the reaction that came off that. So the people who were duetting his videos or the people who were spreading his messages. When you've got 15-year-old boys espousing these sort of views.
Oh, wait. He has gone on the record to admit that he moved to Romania because the police are less likely to investigate sexual assault cases in the country. Okay.
Where you're talking about women in purely sexual terms, and that has come from Andrew Tate, and that's where the problem is.
What do you think?
I don't actually think that's a very fair assessment. He didn't say, oh, I only date 19-year-olds, I prefer. He was making the point, and he could have phrased it better, absolutely. But he's saying
Which he did concede, actually,
yeah,
later
exactly.
in the interview.
But the point he's making is, and he's a very intelligent guy, like Leia was saying, so he knows what he's doing when he's saying that. Obviously, he's got a massive reaction from it, so clearly it's worked. But the point is, you know, he's saying that younger women who have had less experience with men...
Oh. Wait.
Video of Andrew.
Oh, Jesus.
Of Andrew Tate women.
Piers? Do you want to know my ideas? That's right, lock the door, you knew I was going to beat the out of you. If you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? You don't. Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. Also, there's video of him, chasing a woman into the bathroom, while threatening to beat her with a belt. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are some more substantial things we could be talking about, when it comes to Andrew Tate.
In general are more desirable because they don't come with a certain amount of baggage. Now you could say there are women that are more experienced that come with less baggage because they know what they want or they're more mature mentally.
But my view is you shouldn't be talking about women in that generalised way at all of any age group.
But there are people with those
I know
views.
a lot of 25-year-old women in my time, they're all very different. It's like the idea that you bracket them all in this revolting way, which he did, which is just the lad in the nightclub kind of way. It's fine, but
that's a generalisation.
To do it with a big following, I think, is a malevolent influence.
And what is implied there is their sexual history. That is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But there are women that are 18 that have a more elaborate sexual history.
Well, let me ask Hugo. Hugo, you spent quite a lot of time with him for your big interview for The Times. What did you actually make of him by the end? When you came away, what did you think of him?
Oh, we got on very well, but then we were two men sitting in his cigar room, bantering. You know, we had a good chat and a very honest chat. I mean, we had a very similar conversation to the conversation you're having at the moment. I think in different circumstances, I wouldn't have liked to introduce him to my wife. I wouldn't have liked to hang out with him with my female friends. I think that'd be intensely uncomfortable. But I noticed the way that at the moment, what we're doing, we're debating whether or not he's nice, whether or not the things he thinks are nice or right. What we're not debating is whether or not they should be allowed. Right. And I think it slightly worries me that we've drifted into thinking those are the same debate.
I agree. When did we already become the moral arbiters for whether people should be allowed a social media platform? I mean, let me go back to Leia. I mean, to me, you might find Andrew Tate's views offensive, unsavoury, misogynist, as I did on some occasions with him, although he made some concessions in the interview. I'm not sure by the end that I concluded he'd done anything really so heinous he deserved the punishment he's got. That was my real conclusion, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything wrong. I think all he's doing is talking about reality. And I don't think it's misogynistic to say you prefer a woman that's 18 versus 25. It's literally just a sexual preference. It's the same reason why young women prefer older men.
Just to jump in, I don't think...
Yeah,
but I don't think that's the misogyny. I had this argument with my sons earlier when they saw the clip. The misogyny isn't that he has a preference for girls of 18, 19, over 25.
Wait, I feel like I missed something. Sorry, I was reading... misogynist, as I did on some occasions with him, although he made some concessions in the interview.
I'm not sure by the end that I concluded he'd done anything really so heinous he deserved the punishment he's got. That was my real conclusion, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything wrong. I think all he's doing is talking about reality. And I don't think it's misogynistic to say you prefer a woman that's 18 versus 25. It's literally just a sexual preference. It's the same.
I wonder if this woman would be saying that if it was 17 or 16 or 15. Like, understand that the logic that Andrew Tate used to justify why an 18-year-old is more desirable than a 25-year-old can also be used to justify sex with younger women than 18. Right? Like, it is like, the logic of that applies a stronger and stronger argument, right, to having sex with younger and younger women. And by women, in this case, it's turning into girls, not women. Yeah. Like, at this point, we are, like, half a step away from, actually, it's called ephebophilia, not pedophilia, just so you know. Like, the type of argument that's like, Loli is actually a very aristocratic and established form of art in Japanese anime. Yeah, like, no, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. But it has a whole long line of cultural influence. No, shut the fuck up. It's weird as shit. You're sexually objectifying children. Okay? Stop. Just stop. And this lady is just whitewashing. And I know that's not the right term, but this is like, oh, it's just a sexual preference. Would you be saying that for younger and younger people? That would equally apply to Andrew Tate's argument?
Reason
yeah, but
why
that's not. I don't think. Just to jump in, I don't think. Yeah, but I don't think that's the misogyny. I had this argument with my sons earlier when they saw the clip. The misogyny isn't that he has a preference for girls of 18, 19, and 25. The misogyny is in the way he talks about every woman who's 25,
but that's
as if they're all the same and they've all been through this tawdry background, which he finds so distasteful.
Wait, how old is this lady? Is she? I don't know. How old is this lady? What's her name? I want to Google it.
That's obviously ludicrous.
Well, I think he speaks with a lot of hyperbole. His goal was to go viral. Obviously, as Esther mentioned, not all 25-year-old.
Yeah. This Hitler fella, he's just talking with a lot of hyperbole about them Jews. You know, it's just a lot of hyperbole.
Women have been sleeping with every single man that they meet in a nightclub. So there's always exceptions. But I just think in general, a 25-year-old woman obviously has had more experience than an 18-year-old woman. And some men prefer that. Some men don't like that. And I think that's completely fine. I think what really scares me is the censorship that we see online. On Twitter, there's actually porn on Twitter. You have terrorists on Twitter. And yet a man who's just talking about reality and the real dynamics between men and women.
I mean, you know what? I have to say, Leia, I think you make a good point. I think the Taliban have Twitter accounts. The Ayatollah of Iran, he's threatened to wipe out.
Wait, does the Taliban have an official Twitter account? Oh yeah, you can get the Islamic, the Taliban updates account. Okay. Yeah, this account is really popping off with 24,000 follows.
Israel has a Twitter account. You know, Donald Trump doesn't. Andrew Tate doesn't. Why? You know, I can't really get a satisfactory response from these platforms. So it's a very interesting debate, I think, to be had. We're going to run the full interview with Andrew Tate. Well, the whole thing will appear on YouTube by the end of the week. We're going to run a good hour of it later in the week. It is a fascinating.
Do I have VODs from a couple days ago when you debated that not an anonymous chatter? Yeah. It should be on the it should be on the Twitch. Most of my VODs are up for like 90 days afterwards.
Fascinating watch, I have to say. And you might like him, you might hate him, but the real question is, should he be banned? Thank you.
Yeah, again, this seems like a lot of hand-wringing for, like, I don't know, should arguments that justify pedophilia be allowed on twitter.com? I mean, to me, I think obviously the answer is no. But they're doing a whole lot of hand-wringing to be like, well, actually, maybe that should be the case. Leia Halpern? Oh, damn, guys. She's believed to be in her late 20s. I guess that means she's sexually used up. Damn. Imagine carrying that much water for a man who thinks that you are unfuckable. Who thinks that you are, like, an unfuckable, like, spinster. Okay? Amazing. You gonna stream on YouTube more now? Maybe. I just couldn't stream on Twitch tonight. Twitch had like a fucking breakdown. Oh, of course she got famous. She got famous for reporting on crypto. Oh my god. Oh god, cringe. Cringe as hell. Good night, Ashley. Thank you for supporting me. I've heard people like them called Christmas cakes, as in no one wants them after the 25th. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Oh, that's how Tate made his money? Gotcha. Gotcha. Also, she might be anti-Semitic. Wait. She might be an anti-Semite. I don't know the full context of this, but just throwing this up there as another data point for y'all. Deafening silence from outside the Jewish community condemning Wiley CEO, which I assume is Andrew Tate in this situation, and his disgusting anti-Semitic social media posts. Jewish lives matter too. And then Leia Halpern says, no, they don't. Come on. Oops. Did someone do a fucking whoopsie daisy anti-Semitism? Also, fun fact, for like a good 80% of the people with like dealing with Bitcoin, if they're famous, Google like their name and anti-Semitic, and there's a good chance you'll find them saying something anti-Semitic just because of the overlap between like the Nazi community and like cryptocurrencies. first time knowing anything about him, this is quite the introduction to this guy. Oh God, yeah. We've talked a little bit about Andrew Tate. He is a real piece of work. Oh God, there's a fucking 5-hour interview between him and Patrick Bet-David. Oh Jesus Christ. I can't do that, chat. I can't do that. Oh God. Oh God. Candace Owens did a video about him too. I can't. Shit. Alright. Alright. This is gonna be cringe as shit, but I'm... Fuck it.
Big thing. What? All right. You're also known. You said it appears wildly sexist stuff. Are you anti-woman?
I love women. In fact, interesting statistic: 100% of the people I've ever had sex with were women. So, I love women. I have nothing against women at all. I'm not sexist in any regard. I'm not misogynist.
How could I be sexist? I fuck women. How could I be racist? I fuck black people. Like, there are Nazis who or white nationalists who've married black people. Okay.
Either I'm a realist. Like, I'm a realistic person. As a realist in the modern world, they're going to call you sexist, misogynist, etc. But I'm none of those things. I am just.
Why do they call you that? Why do they call you that?
Because I say.
What do you think it is that you say that makes people think you're like sexist?
Because I say the truth.
Which is?
Women can't fight. Men are stronger. Like, more true things. I think another thing I said is and maybe I'll upset the ladies on the podcast. I hope not.
Yeah, women can't fight. Definitely. Maybe he's talking about like can't do MMA or something. I don't know. I know for a fact that there are women out there who could beat his ass.
But please correct me if I'm wrong.
Probably will.
I said if I were to get on a plane and that plane was to fly into the eye of a hurricane, there was a 50% chance of it crashing. I'd want a male pilot because I think that males are better under stress and under pressure. I think they're less likely to get emotional in a life or death situation. That's why they make better soldiers. That doesn't mean that doesn't make me misogynist. That doesn't make me sexist. That's just true. Women are better at other things than men, and I'll sit here and say women are better at X. But I will say that men are better at Y. I'm not going to sit and pretend that we're all the same. We're not. Under pressure, when your life is on the line, anyone who's honest would want a male pilot in said situation. You would not want a female pilot.
So I disagree with that. I think that's a person by person, but I agree with men are stronger than women. I don't think anyone can argue that.
If you're telling me if you were to fly into a hurricane and you had the choice between a male pilot and a female pilot, you wouldn't have zero preference at all, Dave.
Why does it matter? They're flying a fucking airplane. I want whichever pilot has more training flying an airplane. Whether they have a dick or a vagina doesn't matter to me. Jesus Christ.
Not knowing anything about either of them, they're both pro pilots. No, we're not talking about dunking a basketball.
Well, I would choose a man because I know from my own personal experiences.
When I flew into the eye of a hurricane that in that moment of panic, I knew in my heart that a man was flying that plane, and everything calmed. The sun came out, it shone down on us. And I thought, thank God, this is the doing of a man. And then we hit the other side of the eye of the hurricane, and fuck, I shit my pants. That's literally this guy.
that when shit hits the fan and emotions are high and it's life or death, that the man is more likely to remain calm. And calm is what's going to keep me alive. So I would choose the man. For the same reason, I would choose women to do other things. Let me give you another example then, Dave. If gender roles aren't real and you're now...
No, I think there are gender roles are real. That particular example, though,
By the way, Andrew Tate under pressure is just this guy. Ad nauseum.
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
God.
I'm sure you can have great female pilots.
I never said you couldn't. I said I'd choose a man in that particular situation.
Fair. I don't think that's like, I don't know about Brie and O'Malley. Like, that doesn't make
Yeah,
me
Brie
like,
O'Malley, do you think that's like, do you call that like super sexist, or where you guys?
Well, I think it's like what Dave said too. I think it depends on the person. Like, there could be a way more emotional pilot that's a male, and then a female one that could be more emotionally stronger.
But regardless, they go through the same training.
Yeah, I think he's saying you don't know anything about the pilot. You just can pick blind. You
Yeah,
can
well,
either
obviously,
have a male
I'm
or
gonna
female.
disagree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a generalization because exceptions don't disprove the rule. You're
But
right.
I don't think that makes you like Satan for saying that.
No,
I'm
but
sure
I
there's
think
lot of
like you
people who
say a
feel
lot of
that.
stuff about women like that they're your property.
That's not what I said. I was talking about an OnlyFans company when that question was asked. But I said that if a woman is going out with a...
Wait. But also, even if it's an OnlyFans company, like, women still aren't your property, bro. You don't own your workers.
A man, she belongs to that man. That's his woman. So if she wants to do OnlyFans, she owes him some money because she's his. Yes, that's what I said.
Well, that's crazy.
You think if a man...
What the fuck, dude?
Crazy.
So you think that a man going out with a girl, that's just your property? There
not about her
can't be
being-
an equal relationship?
That one was nuts.
Okay,
that one
cool.
was nuts.
I'm
This
nuts
is where
now.
it goes
Good.
crazy.
Cool.
No,
So
but no, that one you can. If I understood what you said, that if a guy and a girl is dating and a girl does OnlyFans, she owes him a cut.
No, 100%.
girl.
100%.
She is his girl.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Because she's his.
Yeah, so that's what.
So
That's the ownership part, my dude. You don't own other people. You don't get to own someone. I'm sorry, it's not the 1800s anymore, my guy. You don't get to just own people. Unless, I don't know, you run off to like some shithole part of the world where they still allow that sort of thing.
Is you saying that women are your property?
It's not about being property. It's about the fact that she belongs to him and the intimate parts of her body belong to him because they're in a relationship. And if she wants to sell those, he has a stake in those intimate parts of her body.
So it's reverse. Male
Jesus.
porn star owes the woman.
I don't know, because I think the women belong to the man. I think the woman's
Yeah,
given over
that's
to the man.
inherently where you get called sexist.
No, it's not. Well, you can call me sexist if you want, but if you look at marriage, it's the bride's father who gives her away. It's not the groom's father.
In
is
old
it?
tradition.
I gotta guess.
The woman belongs
as
to the
some-
man.
So is
I gotta
slavery.
guess as- yeah, no, but I gotta guess as somebody who's multicultural and everything, that certainly is a tradition that does not apply everywhere.
The woman is always given over to the man. Read the Bible, read the Quran, you can go to
walking down the aisle.
Who gives a shit about the Bible or the Quran if you're not religious, my dude? Plenty of people not religious.
No chance. There's like African cultures where they don't do that.
I'm sure there are some obscure tribes somewhere. I mean, I can't say I'm not a professional.
But you get it. You seem like a very smart guy.
Understand
You
why
seem like
people
a
would
smart
say
guy.
that.
You're saying a woman is the property of a man if they're dating.
I'm not saying they're a property. I'm saying they're given to the man and they belong to the man. It doesn't mean they're a pure property without emotion. It means they're given to the man. They take the man's name.
You said
they
it's
belong
her
to the
parts.
man.
You said it's the guy's parts.
Wait, but also, like, women don't have to take the man's name. Men sometimes take the woman's last name. Sometimes neither take last names. Sometimes they hyphenate it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, my dude?
Like if she's on OnlyFans, the guy owns those parts, so he gets a cut.
Well, those parts are intimate, right? That's the whole point of her being his.
Yeah, but you didn't do reverse. When I said if a
No, it's not a one-way relationship, guy. You don't own someone that you're dating. You don't own someone that you married. You don't know either of each other's shit outside of what you choose to give each other. Like, God, the idea that if you get into a relationship with someone, you get to own them, that's fucked.
If a male porn star
Correct.
does it, he doesn't owe the girl a cut.
Correct, because he doesn't belong to her. She still belongs to him.
Correct. So that's the sexist part.
But and you've also said that
Wait, I don't understand. He owns her. It is not the other way around.
that you could. You also said that you could have multiple partners, but a female that was with you couldn't also have multiple partners.
Well, a woman could say that same thing if she decided. She could say, I can sleep with multiple men, but my men can't sleep with multiple women if she so choose. We're all free individuals, right?
Yeah, but you don't. You wouldn't agree if a woman said that.
I don't think I would personally find that revolting. Correct, but there are women who find what I say revolting.
So you're not telling other people what to think. You're just saying how you think.
Yeah, I mean, if I think that I think if a man is not sexually exclusive, it's not the same as if a woman is, because with a woman you have the paternity issue. With a man, you don't have a paternity issue. If I have 3 girlfriends and they all get pregnant, we know who the mother and who the father is. If you have 1 woman and 3 men, you don't know who even the parents are if she got pregnant. So it's a whole big issue, right? Science can step in and kind of fix it.
Definitely,
but it's a good discussion.
DNA tests are pretty accessible nowadays.
Of course, yeah, that's exactly it. So I said science can step in and fix it, but that doesn't mean it's not haram and against the will of God. Look, read the Bible. Every single man had multiple.
Yeah, Andrew Tate, big God believer over here. Very, very prominent Jesus and Muhammad follower over here.
Wives. Not a single woman had multiple husbands. It's against the will of God. It's disgusting. In the eyes of God himself.
That would assume.
Again, an irrelevant argument if you do not believe in a deity.
That if you're going in this multi-universe where everybody's reading the Bible, which is there's different religions all across the globe, reading different things, believe in different things. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what my point is, if we talk about tradition, I'm not even talking about myself here. This is not about my personal life.
No, people aren't talking about tradition. They're asking you why you believe heinous shit, and you're just going like, well, because people in the past believed heinous shit. My dude, people in the past believed that, like, if you hit someone over the head with a rock, you could just fuck their orifices until you were done. Okay? Like, that's like caveman times, okay? Does that mean because it was traditional for people to engage in, like, different forms of rape when we were cave people, that makes it okay now? Obviously no. Obviously no. Just because there are long traditions of horrific actions in human history doesn't mean that you should continue to do heinous shit.
If we're talking traditional. Traditionally, every single man in history had multiple wives, and there was not a single woman who was celebrated for having multiple husbands. Female promiscuity has always been disgusting and frowned upon in every single book ever written ever in all of history.
Damn. I take everything back. Andrew Tate has read every single book ever. Okay? I thought Vosh was impressive for having read all theory, but it's amazing. It's amazing. Someone has eclipsed his achievement by reading every book ever. That's really impressive. Really impressive. Especially considering I didn't think he could read.
History in all cultures ever, women were supposed to be virgins. Women sleeping with lots and lots and lots of men has never been celebrated ever. Besides, in the last 40 years in the West, in a degrading society. Well, yeah, okay, cool. But if you're going to look at it traditionally,
it's true. If he is a man, why is he getting so emotional about this issue? It really makes you think,
Traditionally, women were not supposed to act that way, and I don't think women want to act that way anyway. I don't think women intrinsically want to fuck a bunch of people.
I don't think you know what women want.
Oh God. Yeah, that's true. He has no fucking idea what women want.
Well, the women I know don't want to. When I meet a woman, she doesn't say, "I can't wait to get out there and sleep with a bunch of dudes." Maybe there are some. I don't know. Don't want
there's definitely like cleat chasers who fucking love that.
Yeah, we have 18 modern wealth creation methods, and I'll have to let people enroll in the school. It's extremely cheap. It's $49, and you can enroll and follow the follow the systems. There's a quiz at the beginning that asks if you're time poor, if you're cash poor, because it's different. It's easy to make money if you have money, but a lot of people think that, you know, they can turn 10 grand into money. That's not money. So it depends if you have money to start, depends if you have time, depends on your expertise. So there's a bunch of questions. We narrow it down. There's 18 wealth creation methods, and then we recommend a wealth creation method. And there's a professor in there. There's live lessons every single day along with the community. And we have
Jesus.
have currently 87,000 students. What's impressive about that is not the fact that I've managed to attribute 87,000 students. It's the fact that I managed to retain 87,000 students. So there's 87,000 people out in the world making more money than they invest each month.
It's quite a business.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that they're making more money than they paid you every month? Is there a follow-up to calculate that?
Can women sign up?
Absolutely. Of course they can. I don't know where getting this impression I hate women. I mean, we can attempt to.
I don't hate women. I just think I should be able to own infinite numbers of women. That doesn't mean I hate women. I love women. I love owning women.
We can purport that. We can attempt to label me with that all we want. I'm happy to discuss that. I absolutely not really love women. I have nothing against women. I believe women are the most precious things on the planet. They create life. They should be protected. They should be provided for.
And that is why I will protect them and provide for them by owning them.
Never let a woman pay for a bill. I would never let a woman, if someone touched any of my women, I would stand up against 10 men.
Any of my women. God.
By myself and risk my life to protect her. I believe that women are beautiful creatures. I just don't think that there is emotionally.
I believe they are beautiful creatures unless they are over the age of 25, in which case they are wizened old hags.
Calm as men in stressful situations. I don't think they can fight like a man can. And for the same reason, I would never drop my children in an all-male nursery. I think that's strange and weird. I would only drop them in an all-female nursery.
Are you gonna fucking check what the gender of, like, the caretakers is? What the fuck?
Women do certain things.
I'm really glad I'm too old to be on this guy's radar.
And men do certain things. And we live in a world now where the whole idea of the roles has been conflated to the fact where
God, I cannot imagine having, like, a daughter in an age range that this guy is interested in. Holy shit. I'd worry about them so fucking much. I'd also worry about having, like, a son in this guy's age range, mostly because I'd worry about him turning into a guy like this.
if I come along and say women are better with children and men are better at fighting, that I'm somehow fucking sexist when it's clearly true. There's nothing wrong with stating the facts. It's the truth.
You're mixing them up.
I don't know. That's also why some women carry knives, and that kind of evens a playing field against someone who has a lot of muscles, huh?
Because I agree with some of what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
again,
but then you throw in the OnlyFans, you need 100%
correct
thing. Like that's
I don't think
really
anybody
sexist.
here is arguing that, like, in a fist fight, a man's gonna win.
Okay.
99%.
So
What about?
Wait, why are you going back and granting him this fight shit when, like, you could just be focusing on the fact that he thinks that he owns the women he sleeps with?
Intelligence. Do you think women are as smart as men?
Well, it's been proven that the smartest people in the world are men.
I'm gonna need some citations on that one, bud. I'm gonna need some citations on that one, cause I don't know. I've heard stories about men referring to toes as foot fingers. Okay, I don't think I believe that men are statistically smarter. Okay, or constitute the smartest people on the planet.
I think
that's been proven.
Some issues.
That's been proven. That's been proven.
How?
By who? By what metric?
What? Where?
So there's the bell curve, right? So men.
Oh my god! The bell curve. Oh god. My dude stumbled across outdated race IQ science and said, "Yep, this proves men are the smartest beings on the planet." Holy shit. That's like That's like he went to a library and randomly opened a book on phrenology and discovered that the skull shape of like white men it means that they are just inherently smarter than black men. Oh my god. And then he never looked at any other resources ever again. He took that one look at that phrenology book and didn't realize that it was outdated junk science.
Likely to be on the extremes. So the most stupid people on the planet are men, and the most intelligent people on the planet are men. Women are more likely inside of the middle of the deviation. So
what? Again, by what metric, my dude? Yes, women never go to the extremes. They're only in the middle.
So this has all been proven, right? Men are more likely to extreme. Read the study. It's more likely men are out the extreme.
Study.
Google it.
What are you yelling?
I'm gonna Google it. What am I writing in? What am I writing in for a Google search?
Are men smarter than women?
Okay, this should be interesting in what comes up. Are men?
But I can also give you personal experience if you'd like.
Who gives a shit about your personal experience, bro? God. Fuck, dude. It's like every time he goes on camera, he gets smacked in the face by a 2x4.
Yeah, let's hear
Knock
it.
his socks off. Sweet.
Let's talk about the personal experience, right? So my father was a chess player. My father was one of the best chess players in the world. He was actually the highest ranked black chess player in history at the time. I grew up and I was a chess player from the age of 4 to the age of 13. I was a professional chess player on my route to being a grandmaster. Long story. My parents split up. I lost my coach, blah, blah, blah. So I grew up in the chess world, and the chess world's a really interesting world to grow up in because you're around.
By the way, just in case anyone's curious, I googled, are men smarter than women? And the #1 result is that, while some test batteries show slightly greater intelligence in males, others show slightly greater intelligence in females. Crazy. Crazy, bro. It's almost like there's like no difference. But also, implicit bias study reveals 75% of people perceive men to be smarter than women, which just means that his anecdotal experience has poisoned his mind into being incapable of actually making rational decisions or coming to rational conclusions. Crazy, right? Wild. But you know what? Andrew Tate, thank you for asking us to Google, are men smarter than women, so that we could come to that conclusion based on the first fucking 2 Google results, my dude.
Hyper intelligent people who are socially awkward. A lot of them are like autistic and a bit strange. Some ex-KGB guys, some real weird guys who don't talk, but it's a world of ultra intelligent people. Women cannot compete with men at chess. Now, I'm not calling all women stupid. I'm not.
What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Women absolutely do compete with men at chess. It's just a male-dominated sport. It's like esports. Women can play video games just as well as men, but the culture around it encourages men to compete at professional levels and discourages women.
There aren't some good female chess players. I'm not saying I could beat every woman. No, there are great female chess players, but
oh, Andrew, we know you wouldn't beat every woman, just the women you own.
On average, as a whole, the best chess players in the world are men, not women, because women cannot computate at the level the men do.
My dude, the word computer literally derives from the profession of computing, which existed prior to computers and was done by women. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That is just a statistical fact.
Just so you know, at Google, you're going to say it's run by the people, but I Googled, are men smarter than women, and literally every single study says there's no difference.
Oh, damn. He got the same Google results.
Well, I'll find the study for you. Watch Reddit studies.
Yo, Entrama, that's dope as shit.
And the most intelligent people in the world are men, because we fall to the outward deviations of the bell curve, whereas women
Again, for those of you who don't know, the bell curve is like a long debunked study of junk science. that was used by racists for like decades to justify that like whites were smarter than blacks. Interestingly, he's not using it in this way here. He's using it instead to say that men are smarter than women, which is also not true, of course.
Are more likely to be in the medium. So I'm not. This is not sexist because I'm saying the most stupid.
But I think it's wrong. Like based on everything, I just think it's wrong. Like there's like 20
okay, cool.
studies that pop up.
Well,
so
then if you then search up. If you were to look up the highest IQs in the world, the first 10, first 20, look them up. Are they men or women? I haven't done this. Look it up. But let's talk about my personal experience, right? Let's talk about the chess world.
Literally. Oh my god. Literally, if you type in highest IQ in the world, it's a woman. Fucking, holy shit. Marilyn Voss Savant, yeah. Oh god. Oh, also IQ is a bullshit metric of intelligence, but this is, I can't even. Literally everything that comes out of his mouth is fucking bullshit. It's actually incredible. Most people would have to work this hard to be this wrong all the time. God.
The best female chess player in the world simply cannot compete with the men. I don't know where she is, number 50 or something, like internationally, right? There is no physical advantage. There's no reason why men should win. There's no physical element to chess.
Who do you think plays chess more, men or women overall in the world?
That's a good argument. So the argument is that men play chess more often, so there's more likely to be higher ranking chess.
There's a higher pool to pick from.
There's a larger pool to pick from, of course. But but this has been very heavily dissected inside the chess world. They found 500 female chess players, 500 women, 500 men, started them at school at the same time, started them in the chess school.
I just highest IQ in the world. Literally what comes up. Marilyn Von Savant has one of the world's highest IQs. She is known as the smartest person in the world.
Cool. Then all right, cool. Then I'm totally wrong. I never even said. All I told you is that the most stupid people in the world were men and the most intelligent people in the world were men. I read a study on it 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought, you know what? I know some stupid men. I don't know women that dumb. I agree with that. And I know some really smart men. I don't know women that smart. I agree with that.
I think you're very smart, but for everything you say, there can be argument that an intelligent woman wants nothing to do with you because you think they're stupid. But stupid guys are like, this guy's going to make me a ton of money. So you run into a lot of stupid guys, and the intelligent women are going their own way.
Well, that would be a large generalization, Dave, because you don't know.
That's what we're doing. There's been a lot of those here.
Well, you don't know the women I talk. You don't know the women I talk to. Right?
I don't. I
Correct.
absolutely don't.
Correct. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm not saying I'm smarter than every female on the planet. The 2 women who are on this podcast right now could very well be more intelligent than me. I told you about a study that I read, and now I'm telling you about my personal experience. The personal experience is in the chess world, which I grew up in. Women cannot compete with men. It's a purely computational. It's purely brain power, and they simply cannot compete. And there's a whole bunch of examples of this, right? Like I said, we can easily reverse this conversation. I can tell you all the things women are better at before you call me sexist. We can do it the other way around. But if you look at Formula One, there's no physical advantage. Women can't drive like men. Why? Their reactions are slower. It's been proven that females have a slower reaction time than men. Why? Because they evolved. They didn't need it to evolve. They weren't hunting. They weren't fighting.
But they absolutely were. What the fuck are you talking about? Women engaged in hunting and gathering. What the fuck are you on about, my dude?
Again, for race car driving, you could argue the pool of men. I mean, even with car driving, look who's in it. It's Al Unser, Al Unser Jr., Al Unser. Like it's you got to have the money, you got to have the access, and
family's probably been racing.
Correct. So there's a lot of factors. We have a game because we're going around. And by the way, it's fascinating to talk to. But what is this game? I can't even imagine the game we built for this guy.
So, it's called What Are Your Thoughts On, right?
Yeah, so we're just going to list people and things they do, and then just give us your thoughts on them.
Sure.
Kind of like what we've been doing the whole podcast.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy game. All right, so first one. What are your thoughts on The Matrix?
Oh, also, interestingly, in case you thought, oh yeah, what he said about reaction time, that checks out. Do 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 do. There was a study done in 2019 at Michigan State that found that there was no difference between male and female race car drivers' reaction times. They had the same reaction times.
That's we know that.
Yeah, we. It was a very interesting movie, and I think that it draws striking similarities between the world we live in today and the world that is portrayed inside of the film. I think there are many people who ignore their own eyes and ignore their own ears to believe what they are told to believe.
Oh,
it was a weird time.
Oh god, I clicked on something by accident. Shit, fuck. Anyway, here's the actual study. I wasn't putting it on screen. Or it's not the actual study, but it's from Michigan State University. It's the press release for the study. Here we go. Here's the actual study. It's locked away in this issue. No, it's not. Wait, why isn't it taking me to the actual study, though? Oh, the latest article you requested cannot be found. Most likely the article has published the print issue and certain information has changed. The article will be available once the transition is complete. Damn. Can't look over it on stream. Look, you know Joe Rogan is smart because he drinks smart water. Can't throw Joe Rogan on me like that. I'd never throw Joe Rogan on you. He's too heavy. So yeah, Andrew Tate, kind of a massive piece of shit, and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about 95% of the time. Why can't the bald man just scream and not say fuck shit? Honestly, Joe Rogan would be much better if he just pretended to be a gorilla every stream. I'd enjoy that. I'd watch that. I did Catalina Gearbox. We already covered it today. All right, folks, I'm gonna end for the day. I know we've been going for only like 3 hours today. I'm tired and irritated by the fact that my stream on Twitch wasn't working. And I would very much like it to be... I would very much like today to be done. Not a huge fan of just streaming on YouTube. I have to like change over like so many little things, and it's difficult to see the information I need to be able to see while I stream on Twitch, or on YouTube rather, and it's frustrating. Before I go though, just want to let you all know, I need to log in real quick. Give me a moment, please. 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 Do 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 do. Products. What happened to Twitch? It shat itself and stopped my stream. And I thought I'd switch over to YouTube instead. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. There we go. Got one up. Do-do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Sometimes I get the feeling she's watching over me, and other times I feel like I should go. Decimated dream. Yeah, misery and hate will kill us all. Screaming off the Chevy and my open jeans. So paint it black and take it back and let's shout it loud and clear. Yeah. Deep fire to the end, we hear the call. There's all pointed faces of your peers. Just can't keep still. And when you're gone, we watch you want to. We'll carry on, we'll carry on, and though yes, and God believe me, your memory will carry on, you'll carry on, and anyway, when I can't contain it, the anthem won't explain it. Till we die, you'll never make me, because the world will never take my heart. Never knew me a better time, I guess I never will. We wanna play this part, won't explain or say I'm sorry. But soon the war gets that fighting. All right. Now, chat. I have just a little babby announcement for y'all. Are you guys ready? Yeah, we're gonna be doing a movie night. Guys ready? Look at that, we got some new merch. We got some new merch. Look at that. We got Peepo joins the Singing Angels. Look at that. You can buy this, put it on your wall. Look at that. Look at that shit. Get that blurry motherfucker on your wall, okay? All right? You want Peepo to sing trans rights in your house? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He was joining the underground gay movement under Nazi occupation. Get it on your wall. Look at that. Look at that. Peepo snitching. Peepo busy snitching on St. Anthony while he's being tempted by these very girthy horses. Or hey, look at this. Look at truth coming out of a well to shame Peepo. And he's so goddamn happy to be shamed. And you can also get many other good products as well. Look at all those. But look, you can get even more. Look at that. Look at all this shit. Mugs and bottles. Huzzah. So get on it. Here's a link to the website. There you go. Hey. And thank you all for being here, for real. I know like we only had like 20 people watching today's stream, but that's significantly better than my last stream on YouTube, which was like 4 people. So thank you all for coming out and showing up and supporting me. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be doing another stream on Twitch. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, click the little bell. You know, comment on the VOD, all the little things that you know, help to make the algorithm go burr, okay? Because even though I only have 1,400-ish subscribers on here, we're growing pretty fast. Because we're growing pretty fast because we've been putting out content pretty frequently. I'm trying to get up at least something every day on YouTube. Whether it's a segment from the stream or it is a short that can also go up on TikTok, which, you know, follow me on TikTok too. Yeah, Entrama, get me a few more of these segments. Hey. The shorts help a lot, I'm guessing. Yeah, the current algorithm on YouTube is geared towards shorts. So I've been trying to, like, put together, like, I don't know, like, I'll like, have an idea for, like, a segment, and I'll break it up into, like, 1 minute of me just, like, talking to my phone and looking like dog shit, because it's usually when I'm still in bed. 1,400-ish subs is 30 more than 1,370-ish subs. That's true. In the last month, we've gotten 62 new follows, which is pretty goddamn good. And I'm hoping we can keep up the momentum. All right. And with that being said, I guess I can't really raid into anybody. That's not how this platform works. So I guess good night. Good luck. I love you all. And we'll be back to doing some fun content tomorrow. And I do have a lot more content I want to get to, like Ukraine updates. I want to talk more about some cool infrastructure stuff. Some more fascism rising shit. I want to dive down the Ben Shapiro rabbit hole of how he became a beardy boy. A horrible, horrible beardy boy. Isn't YouTube implementing a raid-like thing? If they are, I have no idea how to use it. I don't have, unlike on Twitch, I don't have like a dashboard I can look at when I'm streaming on YouTube. So like all of the tools are just kind of dispersed to the ether. His most recent vid was the Lizzo flute. No, that was like from a week ago. But we'll be covering a wide variety of Ben Shapiro content to get caught up on him. Because God, he's been on a real roll. I'm just going to read you out a few of the video titles we're going to cover. Marxism Can't Work in America. The War on Manhood. How Modern Society is Castrating Men. And Bros Blockbuster Bust. I'm in my head canon of Ben Shapiro, my Ben Shapiro headcanon. He's being kicked out of his house by his wife, who recently realized she's a lesbian because she got wet at the sight of like a woman in a wet t-shirt. Okay? No one just grows that horrible of a beard on purpose. All I heard was bros bust. Boo. Boo. Boo, you horny man. Did you see Walsh exposed? I did see that. I was going to cover it today, and then I covered Andrew Tate, and I realized I was just making kind of dog shit content today. So I'll be back tomorrow and covering it in more depth. And I love you all, and I'm going to go. My Ben Cannon. Indeed. Her strap broke, and he's sad now. Oh. I don't know. I get the feeling Ben Shapiro is used to being caged, if you catch my drift. That being said, let's go! And by let's go, I mean goodbye, everybody. I love you very much. Have a good day. Bye. And we'll be streaming some Morbies on the Discord, so head on over there if you want to keep hanging out. Peace. Oh, also I worked out today. It was real good. Highly recommend. Go do short workouts if you can.